Yo, it's JD with Pressure King Softwash out here in Katy, Texas. And man, today we're going to be going over our trailer build. First things first, I appreciate everybody who's been showing this trailer build some love, man. Everybody's been asking me questions, kind of saying they wanted to kind of like the same build and stuff like that, man. So I really appreciate y'all showing that love. So we're going to get started with the front of the trailer. We have a 22-gallon Boyd fuel cell that's all aluminum, and we had it painted a fractured cherry, kind of a blood red. And it's actually plumbed to both of our machines. We got a 10-gallon over here, 8-gallon over here. So we got a Honda IGX 800, 10-gallon a minute, belt-driven machine. This is our brand new machine. Only got 10 hours on it right now. So like I said, it's brand new, and this thing is a beast. Which moves us over to the two water tanks. So we have two 330-gallon IBC tow tanks at 660 gallons. We have it plumbed to 2-inch connections, to 2-inch non-collapse, non-crush hose, and then we have it wrapped down and plumbed into a 1.25-inch wide. That way it filters out whatever may be in the water. I have my tanks with a filter in and a filter out to both of my machines. So like I said, I got a 2-inch and then it's neck down to a 1.25. We have a dump valve over here, and whatever you see over here is the same thing that's over there. So when we neck it down to that 1.25 back over to the front of our pump, we have a Bill Maybe from Keystone Power Wash connection. That's an inlet connection. What it is a swooping 90 to give the flow just a better flow. Instead of a hard 90, it curves so it can give the water better flow, better supply. The standard for that inlet on most pumps is 1 inch, but I like to have more, so I did 1.25. So pushing over here to our Softwash system, we have a 12-volt, 7 GPM Remco. I think it's a Fat Boy, and it is absolutely a beast. We have it attached to a Softwash Technologies proportionate system. So we have water, soap, and then our sodium hypochlorite, aka bleach. We have it 3/4 ends, so 3/4 inch hose in for the water and the bleach. And then we have a 1/2-inch valve, and that's supplied with a 1/4 inch line. We have a selector valve on it, so we use like a regular surfactant, and say like if we're doing a roof wash or something, I'll plumb it for that thicker viscosity to be able to attach to without running down. So I can select either one, or I can put a degreaser on there as long as I have my sodium hypochlorite valve completely off and the system flushed with water before I start another chemical. Back here we have our 55-gallon SH tank, sodium hypochlorite, aka bleach. We keep it at around 35 to like 45. We don't ever do the 55 because I don't want to spewing out of the top. And we have, like I said, that 3/4 line plumbed into our proportioner. We do have a 5-gallon pail that's temporary right now. We got it all plumbed up for our soap. So whenever I want to upgrade that, I'll do so. But for right now, that's doing a perfect job. We do have 3 18-inch reels. Is a Titan, we have a Bandit, and then we have a Freedom Wash Softwash hose reel over here. This is the only one that's actually a 3/4 manifold. Those two over there are 1/2-inch. We have the water hose on top, and we have the 1/2-inch high pressure hose on the bottom. So my system completely, as far as the pressure side, is strictly 1/2-inch. I don't do 3/8 right now. I just like 1/2-inch better. Yes, it's more of a hassle because it's a heavier hose, but it is what it is. I like the better flow. I like the power that's behind it. My surface cleaner is also a 1/2-inch inlet and outlet, and so it's great. That is, I think, about 300 feet of 5/8 hose. So the 12-volt pump is 3/4 in and then pretty much 5/8 out. Over here, we just have our pump sprayer, a couple of chemicals, tarps. I use tarps for like wood doors, stained doors, stuff like that, or doors that I think are a little bit on the organic painted side. I cover those up. And then we got our combs for like if we're doing commercial work or residential, when we want to just block off quarter on the truck and the trailer off. So like I said, with the plumbing, everything that I have over there is the same thing that I have over here. Dump valve, 1.25 Y filter. I got the Bill Maybe 90, JIC 90, and it just works. So crazy thing about these tanks is that they are Siamese together with that ball valve right here, or I can turn that ball valve off and use this machine for this tank, that machine for that tank. Or like I said, I open up and I twin them when I'm actually twinning my machines at 18 gallons per minute. Up here, when I do my fill, this is, that is 1 inch fill hose or fill line, still the non-crush. It's kind of like overkill, but it feeds both of my tanks. I turn that ball valve and I go to the free fill tank that has no Hudson float valve on it. It's better flow, it fills the tanks faster. And if one tank fills, it's actually both filling because I have that ball valve at the bottom. So it can pretty much equalize. So, and like I said, I have that filter over there. That is I want to say a 1-inch filter. So I'm filtering my water in and I'm filtering my water to my machines. So I think last but not least, we have our CRX 750. This is an 8 gallon per minute gear driven machine. And this has completely been a beast for me, my business, and it really like took our game up with efficiency, being able to finish jobs faster, simply because we started off with a 5.5 GPM. I think that was a Honda GX390 5.5, and that was a beast. But when we got to the 8 gallon, that was a total game changer for us. I do prefer the belt driven now, simply because I think belt drive is just simply unmatched. It's less moving parts, and just the maintenance on that is easier than it is on this gear drive, simply because when this gear drive just out of the blue wants to start leaking, it's just like, okay, I got to change a whole gearbox, versus over there, I just have to change a belt. And I just like the delivery system over there. So this machine actually does have just a small leak, still works perfectly. Haven't had any problems out of it. And it's still a beast and it still works to this day. So I'm definitely grateful for that. The trailer itself is a Max D 7x14 dual axle at 7K, and we had it bed lined by Heatwave Off-Road out here in Katy, Texas. So it's been a lovely system thus far. I've had no issues. Like I said, this was a thought and idea in my head, and thank God, Heavenly Father, I was able to put it together, build it the way that I want it. We pretty much did all the building. We had a company come in who did the tank. The same company also did the bed lining. And then I had a friend of mine that did the welding, and pretty much everything else is me. Shout out to, I forget his name. Anyways, we got our wiring kit from a guy that does impeccable work with wiring for 12 volts. He has a slew of knowledge, and we got this wiring kit, and it really boosts the performance of our 12 volt 7 GPM Remco pump. We have better delivery as far as power because we actually ran our batteries, I believe, I can't remember. I think it's either in parallel or series, but it's the function that goes, you got 2 batteries, but it doesn't boost it to 24 volts. It keeps the 12 volt. So when you get it over here, you're actually getting like 13.8 volts rather than just 12, and you're not draining one battery. So there it is, guys. This is the 2026 Pressure King Softwash trailer build, and thank y'all again. Hope y'all have a good one.